You're beautiful but unsatisfied since day one. You were getting teased and it scarred you when you were young. Now you're getting older and you've been on the grind. Your paper off the scale so you feel like it's time. So you got a nose job, that's the primary thing. People tease you as a kid and for some reason you hit. Always into high fashion, girl, you heavy like lead. Liposuction out your shell like a chicken and egg. Feeling confident but now you're becoming obsessed. First your nose, then your weight, now your butt and your breast. It's a vanity fair, cosmetic overdose. Fiending for a next operation like it was dope. Now you feel the need to skin pill, your skin's no good. But if those around you were real, they'll tell you the truth. Just because you spending thousands, that don't make it alright. Had one problem, now it's many going under the knife. Your lips, breasts, butt, legs, waist, hips, nose and chest, waistline, facelines, looking your best. Do it like the rest, Vanity Fair. I said your lips, breasts, butt, legs, waist, hips, nose and chest, waistline, facelines, looking your best. Do it like the rest, Vanity Fair. Come on. Vanity Fair, yeah. Changing one or two things, cool, girl, do you? Do you wanna be beautiful and look like you? Or do you wanna look like someone you saw in a magazine or video, but not in the raw? I like nice shaped bodies, bikinis Brazilian, but too much of anything just isn't appealing. Some people spend a lifetime, even a million. No grace like those unhappy with chilling. A girl with a big butt, big lips, small hips is what we all love to see, and men dream about this. There is nothing wrong with getting something broken fixed. Some women get a breast job cause cancer resists. Some women want to please their man and insist. And a woman really loves you if she wants to do this. But abuse ain't the same as intention with care. So be careful of the drug called the Vanity Fair. Vanity Fair. Your lips, breasts, butt, legs, waist, hips, nose and chest, waistline, facelines, looking your best. Do it like the rest, Vanity Fair. I said your lips, breasts, butt, legs, waist, hips, nose and chest, waistline, facelines, looking your best. Do it like the rest, Vanity Fair. Your lips, breasts, butt, legs, waist, hips, nose and chest, waistline, facelines, looking your best. Do it like the rest, Vanity Fair. I said your lips, breasts, butt, legs, waist, hips, nose and chest, waistline, facelines, look at your best. Do it like the rest, Vanity Fair. Come on.
Yeah. Everybody wanna be a superstar. Yeah. Everybody wants something. Yeah, y'all. Everybody wanna be famous.
Hey, y'all. Welcome in. Give me a minute. Let me go back here. You guys have been chatting away during this one. Hold on just a minute. How's everybody doing on Thursday? Hey, Jennifer. Oh, yeah, they're welcome here. If they have questions, they're welcome here. I just won't put up with any BS. Hey, Amethyst. Hey, Mochas. Hey, Rebecca. Hey, Trisha, Sarah, Kathy P, LG, Shopaholic, Opsecco, Cool Gamer, Exiled, Sheba, Miss Lee, Violet, Terry Welsh, Lorraine, Val, Tisha, Marcy. Hey, T. Hey, Sarah. Make sure I got everybody. Hey, Sharkbait. Daphne. Smiles. Brainy T. Irish. Revival. Commander N Turkey. Ender Turkey. I always have a hard time with your name. Cincinnati Babe. I almost butchered that name too. Juliet, Forgotten Whispers, Queen Bella, Carol, I Hate Peas, JJAP. Hey, y'all. How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing this week? Yeah, Kathy, that's okay. Let him. That's totally okay. I won't even I'm not paying attention to those people. It's not worth it. Their angle isn't my angle and it never will be. So me even giving that energy is just not worth it to me. There's another one that cussed me out and told me to go F myself because I said to pray for the entire family, including Letitia and the rest of them. And I have said that all along. They all need prayers. But instead of reacting and dragging this creator who has strong feelings, which are totally fine, I'm just going to add her to the prayer list because obviously she's really triggered. So, anyways, here and nor there. So, there's a few things we're going to discuss today. There's a few things that I've been asked to give statements on, give my opinion on, clear up. So, we're going to do that. And then we're going to dive into, we're going to talk about mental health and suicide today. So, trigger warning now. If you are not up for that, I will give trigger warnings when we get into that, but we're going to do something a little constructive today because there's a lot of stuff going on out here, a lot of things being said, a lot of topics that are really heavy, and we're again approaching the holiday season, which intensifies a lot of stuff, but we'll segue to that in a minute. So let's get into this. So the first thing I'm going to discuss is I was asked to give a statement on Lithuanian Lolita and if I am Lithuanian Lolita. 99% of you know that that's a fuck no. But for the ones in the back that don't, no, I'm not Lithuanian Lolita. No, I do not live in Arizona. Yes, I do visit Arizona. Yes, my in-laws have palm trees in their yards. They do not have a pool. I look nothing like her, and I think she's even older than I am. But the voices might be similar. I don't know. I only know who she is because she caught my attention when she started commenting very aggressive and egregiously in Molly's comment section when the Marvon McRae story was being talked about. So I started taking screenshots of her comments back then because I thought she was somebody else. So I started kind of tracking her myself because she would go into rabbits, she would go into Tia's, she would go into Molly's. There was somewhere else she was always at too. But she would always say like really wild things. I don't know how that all happened. I don't know why people just like to try and put me in the middle of all of it. So here I am saying, no, I have no idea who she is. I don't know anything to do with that. And I guess this segues into the next piece. I will say it again. What other people do with Michelle is not my business. I have made a conscious decision to keep that off my page, and I will continue to keep it off my page. I am not in control of what other creators choose to do. I am not in control of what other creators choose to say. I would never do that. She has, again, continued to keep this going on her own. So that's here nor there. None of my business. I want nothing to do with it. That's it. That's all. Trisha, I've heard that too, but of course, I get messages every day about it, and it's been like annoying. So I'm just clearing it up because shit like this gets annoying. Next thing I want to talk about is somebody asked me my opinion of the AWP situation. So first and foremost on that topic, I just want to, if you want to watch that, if you're interested in that, please go over to Down in the Rabbit Hole News. She is covering that extensively. I will not be covering it extensively as far as the AWP piece of it goes. I stand with victims, period, point blank. That's it. I don't know what else there is to really say about that. Of course, in my opinion, there's a lot of things that need to happen until we know what the outcome will be. To me, though, this brings up a much bigger topic and a much bigger opportunity to talk about bigger issues. That being said, if you are a victim, if victims listen to this at all, please, please do not do interviews with content creators who are exploiting reality stars in their sexual assaults. and keeping in that reality realm, because there's a big difference between reality TV and when it comes to outing things like this versus real life. These ladies are not reality TV stars. Yes, AWP might have a social media presence and have all of that going on. These women don't. So, first and foremost, I hope to God that they stay far away from these reality TV creators who exploit other people's pain and trauma for attention and views. There's a few of them. I will always say that. I don't get down like that. I grew up in a fucking cult. So, no, not the Mormon Church. And let me be very clear also, I have amazing friends who are Mormon, who are wonderful people, but I also do know the other side of it. I've done extensive research into a lot of cults. But this isn't a playground for reality TV creators to try and get clicks and views off of other people's trauma once again. And that continues to happen. And it's unfortunate. People are talking about this GoFundMe. Is it in bad taste? Maybe. Who are we to judge somebody else's trauma and their trauma response? I don't know how I would act if this all was coming out on social media and all of this stuff either. So I'm not going to sit here and judge anybody else on that reaction. Do I think it could muddy the water? Yes, 100%. And I think that we're going to see a lot of these slimy content creators, not the ones that are currently, well, some of them might already be involved, but some of the ones that are trying to get involved, I think will absolutely make the situation worse, not better. These people should have been appointed victims advocates right from the get-go. And I hope that they stick to that and let them guide them, because this is real trauma. This is real pain. This isn't a story on YouTube. This is reality. And it needs to be treated with care and compassion. And some people need to learn when to shut up and stay the hell out of shit. If you are playing in the reality TV world, stick to it. And that's that. Any questions on any of what I've said so far? I think I'm pretty clear. It's pretty weird to me because I'm usually pretty clear in my, hey, B-Fergs, hey, everybody coming in, hey, Anne. I feel like I'm pretty clear on my stance in a lot of things, but there's a certain group of people that have things extremely twisted, which is totally fine. Again, I don't care. I'm not here to rectify or reconcile anything for them. They have to come to that terms on their own. But this isn't something that should be just thrown out here willy-nilly and talked about. Unfortunately, it's going to be. But again, I stand with victims. And I also feel that until we know more, we don't really have enough information. And here we are. We all have our thoughts and opinions, and that's that. But what I will say about this going forward is my interest in this is what the church is doing. Is he still a member of the church? Has the church publicly denounced him? What is his standing in the church? Because he made statements in his email about the church, therefore bringing the church into it, and also made statements including other people in his family. Now, that being said, there is a really big problem within the church, cover up, sexual assault, things of that nature. And it's tragic and it's real and it happens far too often. So I think we can discuss the reality of it. I think we can talk about the background, what happens, other people's experiences. I think that that would be a great topic to address and discuss, because there's a lot more to these pieces that people should be like, oh shit, about. As far as the specifics with what's going on, I'm not going to be covering that just because, like I said, I didn't even know who AWP was until I came to YouTube, which has only been a few months. So, Jennifer Wright. Yep. Grace and empathy. Yeah, Forgotten Whispers, there's a lot. Yeah, yeah, there is a lot to this whole thing, and it has anybody watched the show, Under the Banner of Heaven? Have any of you guys seen that? It's on Hulu. Yeah, Queen Bella, I have a lot of that personal experience. Because of my personal experience with it, though, and I think that's why I come at it from a different angle, and I tell you what, if some reality TV person that like that's what they cover tried to jump into all of this, I would just laugh, which I do laugh. Because living in this type of world versus reporting on it from other people's stories are two different things. And I just sit and my eyes are rolled back in the back of my head constantly. Let's just say that. Oh, some of you have watched it. Yes. Yeah, that's a very, very good show. It's based off a true story. It's off a murder that happened in Utah in the 1980s, within a family and like some of the cover-ups. And yes, times have changed. It's not as significant. I think the population and it's shifted a lot, but that dynamic still happens, unfortunately, very often. Yeah, well, I agree with that. I agree with that observation that it's a little odd. It seems insane. But my take on that again is I I don't know if I could tell you honestly what the right reaction to trauma is. Anybody have that response? I mean, to me, I think the reason why she's doing that is to level the playing field. He's all about money, he's got money kind of thing. And again, I'm not here to judge that decision. Do I think it's in bad taste? Yes, because it's going to cause stuff like this to be talked about. Um, but I'm not going to judge her trauma or her response to it. That's that. Yeah, S Miles, same. Yeah. Yeah, and that unfortunately is very this is and I'm not against the Mormon church either, just so we're clear, like, I'm all of them. Well, I guess I shouldn't say I'm for it either. I'm just speaking very honestly. Like, I respect whatever religion you choose to these are just I'm very fact basis, and this is the way it goes. I've done a lot of my own research too. I live in the Bible Belt. Enough said, yep. Yeah, Mocus, I agree. Yep, Kelval, that's how I feel. It's just not something for us to judge, really. I mean, it's yeah, and that's totally okay, Welsh. It's totally okay, but that's why it shouldn't be on social media at the rate it is either. But here we are. I'm a recovering Catholic. Yeah, yeah, that's exactly right. There's a lot to happen between here and there. We don't know if he's going to be found guilty. We just know that he's been indicted. That's about it. Yeah, waiting on the facts is important. But unfortunately, that as we all know, that's not going to happen. And it's going to get way worse before it gets better. So just, y'all know. Yeah, that's Carol. I keep going to that too. Like, and here's another thing. I don't think a lot of people quite understand. And I know people are like, oh, I've heard about the cults. I've read about it. I've watched TV shows. I know all of it. Or I report on this, so I know all of it. No, you fucking don't. No, you don't. Until you live in some of these people's shoes or really understand the extent of the silence that they do and the indoctrination that goes into this, these people lose everything to come out and stand for what's right, to stand up for themselves, to advocate. If you advocate for yourself, you a lot of times lose everything you've ever known in your entire life. Think about that. And then you expect people to have a decent reaction? Nah. Not going to happen. And she might not ever have a decent reaction. She might always do excessive behaviors. But you know what? I stand with what I stand with. It's not my place to judge. I don't agree with that. They took the opportunity. Nobody asked them to come in and do interviews. And that's another thing. You can't, after a victim's been silenced so long, and then maybe it wasn't the right thing to do, and maybe it wasn't something that we would hope they would do. But again, it's not our place to judge. But if you want to, I mean, that's totally your call too. I'm not getting down with it like that. But let's talk about what is important. So, as you all know, Messy Molly has been doing more videos and commentary on recent missing puzzle pieces videos. And if you watched the one from yesterday that she released, so she posted it 2 days ago and she released it yesterday. Basically, all she states throughout that entire video is if the man was happy, he wouldn't have gone outside. And she continues. It's the most disgusting, horrific video. Because at the end of the day, mocking somebody else's decision, what does that do for you? Who, like, what? I can't understand these people. And there's a lot of you I can't understand, I'll be honest. But it's not okay. This is something so many people struggle with on a daily basis, and they're afraid to speak about it. They're afraid to seek help. They're afraid to openly, because of people like that. That was the most disgusting videos, because that's all she could say over and over and over again. And this is who is advocating on behalf of part of that family, for that family. What? This isn't just a topic that is like, oh yeah, okay. It's okay to mock. It's okay to make fun of people. No, it's disgusting. And it's disgusting that more people aren't willing to stand up and call it out. They'll call out people making money off of this or doing that. What about the fact that she's mocking an attempted suicide of a U.S. Marine veteran? What about that? Some of you all got platforms out here and you choose to talk about some of the craziest stuff to me. But again, that's whatever. But nobody will really speak about what's important. Why not? I bet you, well, if there's 143 people here, I bet at least 43 of those people have had thoughts themselves, if not attempts. And that's a tiny fraction. I mean, that's a low number. This is something that is affecting so many people. But we're okay with creators like that who just mock it. S. Miles, you know what's funny though? They do, in my opinion, make her look worse too, but people don't even, they look right past it. They don't care. They don't care at all. Yeah, Solo, me too. Absolutely, me too. It's disgusting. Well, Peg, she can't drag for shit. She's horrible at dragging anybody, but she attempted to. But all she keeps saying is, you can't tell me that he was happy if he went out and did that. Yeah, that's what fucking happens, Molly, you dumbass. That is exactly sometimes what mental health looks like. Mental illness looks like. Happy 1 minute, sad the next. And that's okay. It needs to be talked about. And people like you who continue to mock others for this are incredibly ignorant. It's disgusting. Yeah. Yep. And I sit here and I just get so irritated. And I am going to kind of segue a little bit away from as deep with this story. There's a lot that still needs to be discussed, and I'm not walking away from it. I'm just going to take another angle because I'm disgusted with everybody. I am flat out disgusted with everybody. This is a case where everybody is fighting over him instead of for him. This never should have came out here to begin with. not our place. But now we have creators who are mocking it. We have creators using it to just play games back and forth. No, it should be addressed head on, shut down, and that's it. We're fighting, for truth and facts in this story, and all we get is deeper bullshit with further damage being done because they don't care. Yeah, projection. Hey, Rebel. Hey, L. So we're going to talk about it a little bit more in depth. I'm not going to pussyfoot around the word. I'm not monetized anyways. I'm going to call it like it is. Education needs to happen, and some people need to wake up. This isn't just a fun and games anymore. Yeah, Granny T, I agree with that. Absolutely agree with that. Peg, agreed. Queen Bella, 100% agreed. Amethyst, sending you a great big hug. You know that. I'm so sorry. Yeah, solo, it does. And then all of this distraction and bullshit and all of this stuff is just, well, it's disgusting. It doesn't, like, I did a short couple preloads yesterday, and I have some videos to do, and I have one that I'm going to address Molly's sister. She made a lot of comments, and I'm going to address her and ask her the same questions back. Somebody's got to start thinking with common sense here. This shit's getting so out of hand, and nobody is putting a stop to it. Nobody cares enough to put a stop to it. We're out here fighting to put a stop to all of the nonsense, but why? When everybody else is just playing games. It's really disheartening to know that this man's life is being, instead of fighting for him over and over and over again, like all of the people that love and care about him should be doing, they're fighting over him. I can't. Forgotten Whispers, great. Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah. Oh, my Lanta. See, there's a lot of people that have, it's not okay. She talks about how she's a life coach. And again, this isn't just about her. This is about, I've heard Elle say stuff recently. She was like talking about the Aaron Carter situation and talking about how hard addiction is and all of the reality of it is. And I'm sitting there going, you need smacked right now because you've also degraded somebody else that was going through mental health for a story. Like, they just don't understand that shit happens. This is mental illness. And why the hell in 2022 are we as adults okay with other adults acting like this? Why are we okay with the high rates of our veterans that we lose to suicide and then watching and praising creators that disparage and mock them? People were pissed at me the other day because I said she didn't need to have a platform. I'll say it again. I don't care if you disagree with me. I am not about cancel culture and silencing someone. But when somebody's behavior is this egregious and dangerous and ignorant, you're right. Because I don't want any child or woman, man, adult, anybody that's struggling to listen to that and think that what she says is fact and that there's no hope, and then they go take their own life. It's not fun and games. This is a real crisis in our country, worldwide. But Queen Bella, it affects, and you're right. They look past anything if there's money attached to it. Exactly, Rebel. Yep, exactly. And I know people get sick of it and they say, oh, you sit up there on your high horse. No, bitches. I live this life. I already said I don't suffer myself, but people around me that I love and advocate for on a daily basis do. And I will continue to use my voice to support those around me. You don't like it, get the fuck out of here, because all you do is sit here and try to watch my words because you have one angle anyways, and that's not mine. Like I said, you don't like it, go away. And as far as the junkie bullshit, oh, I've never struggled with addiction. I smoke. Yeah, okay, I do. We all have addiction tendencies. I am lucky enough that I didn't end up in a deep hole with addiction. That's what I should say. I didn't know that battle firsthand. Thankfully, somebody else, unfortunately, suffered that battle. And I watched them firsthand. And I was angry and I was bitter and I was nasty because I didn't understand. I had to educate myself. I don't give a shit if the person is struggling with addiction, if they do have to medicate, if whatever. They're still a human being and they have worth and value. The only junkies are the junk channels that continue to put out this terrible content that affects so many people and they could care less. I hate the term junkie. Absolutely freaking hate it. Oh, sending you huge hugs, Forgotten Whispers. Kelval, congrats. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. All of you struggling with addiction, overcame addiction, have relapsed, any of it. I'm proud of all of you. You're here today. You've like, I don't know why we're using that shit to, I just don't get it. I don't hang out with people like this in my real life. So all these characters on social media is overwhelming to me. Overwhelming to me because I'm like, I would never associate with these people in real life, let alone on social media. Oh, Elle, sending you huge hugs. Solo, yeah. And it does me too. I've given graduation ceremonies at recovery programs. I've done all of it. And I mean, you guys have heard me talk about it. This is something that's very near and dear to me. And obviously, a lot of you, like, there's so many of you. And that's why I sit here. And even though I might not even have the, like, you guys have stories. You guys are important. Your stories matter. This is what I care about. I could give two fucks about Molly, Justin, Elle, to be honest. I think they're trash. That's not going to change. And that's because of their behavior with their careless reporting of this. But that's not my purpose. I am never going to be an anti-Molly, anti-Elle, anti-Justin, anti-any one thing channel besides bullshit. I don't agree. Listen up again. I don't agree with anything that was done in this story by any of the creators at the beginning. I've said it time and time again. I was very clear with my statement and my wording about the channels that I think should stay away from real stories because of how they handle them. You can fit that where it fits it. Some of you need to start learning to look at the bigger picture. There's so much more that can be done out of here. There's real people struggling. Oh, Mimi, I'm so sorry. And I know this is a heavy topic, y'all. I know. Yeah, Queen Bella, that is true. And you know what? I had no idea coming into this. You guys, I didn't come into this with a purpose. I didn't plan on having a channel. I came over here to put a video out because I was so sick and tired of them running with lies. I never intended to still have a channel and still be doing videos and have 148 people here chatting with me. Never, ever. But if I'm going to continue to do this, I'm going to do it with things that I'm passionate about. And yes, I'm passionate about the facts, and I'm passionate about the fact that they've disparaged a human being's life over and over and over again. But I can't be fighting this battle endlessly when other people don't, his own family isn't fighting it. They're fighting over him and continuing to align themselves and shit like that. And I just can't, like, what's the point? There's no winner in this situation. So we're going to talk about things that matter. Yeah, we'll talk about bullshit some. Yes, we're going to address them some. We're going to still do what we're doing. But there's more that can be brought to light. So let's talk about it. Okay. There's just, Commander Ender Turkey. That is so true. You can have the best family, the job, friends, and still suffer from depression. Wealthy people, like, people think that a lot of times people with money don't suffer from mental illness. A lot of times that's the ones that suffer the most, because at the end of the day, money doesn't buy you happiness. Yep, Nanya, that's true. Oh, shoot, I got to share it. I forgot. She gave me the okay. I'll share her blog. I'll share her blog name with this. I shared one of them in the community tab, y'all. Her page is in the community tab, but I'll share her other one today too. Sorry. Miss Lee, thank you for saying that. Even us therapists struggle with our own addictions and mental health. I know I do. That is so true. Yep. Yeah, money doesn't buy a fix, like, to fix mental illness either. I mean, we see that all the time. I just don't know. Like, it is the weirdest world out here. And I think it's because of the communities I'm kind of like caught between. I don't know. But like I said, I'm going to find my own little island. I don't know. I can handle some of the drama, not a lot of it. I mean, it's entertaining to watch, but some of this isn't drama. Some of this is over the top. We're just going to create an island of no nonsense, I guess. And we'll just call it the no nonsense, whatever. Yeah, Peg, she shouldn't even be discussing that. I mean, I guess that's the difference between a professional and a non-professional, but here it is. You can't buy happiness. Yep, that's exactly right. That is right. The island of truth seekers. Yep. Yep. Empathy versus sympathy. Mental illness and trauma are often key to addiction. Yeah. Granny, that's me too. What gets me is Molly refuses to see the danger she does. Yep. I'm wading through the waters too, but learning to be very careful. Yeah, T. It's just a lot. Like, there's just a lot. Jennifer. Queen Bella, I like that. Yeah. Oh, Kirk's, absolutely. And a lot of them will talk about how comedy is their outlet because they've suffered from mental illness. Absolutely. I'm going to go smoke before I get into these articles because these are really heavy and I'm going to need it because this is already a hard topic because I can already see. I think that's what I appreciate so much from y'all too, is you guys are always so raw and vulnerable. And that is, I can't even explain how incredible. You guys should be so proud of yourselves because that takes a lot to be vulnerable and open. You know, there's people in here that don't like any of us, that are just in here to talk shit and record everything I say and try to do the weirdest shit with it. But it has not stopped any of you from being yourselves. Well, some of you still are not comfortable, which is totally fine. But a lot of you don't let that get to you and just are who you are. And I love that. Yeah, a lot of people cope with humor. Aw, thank you so much. Y'all, this channel is great because of you guys. You guys realize that, right? This channel isn't great because of me. This channel is great because of us. This channel is just as much you guys as it is me. See, there went a couple lurkers. They don't like when I talk seriousness because they just sit there and roll their eyes and see, look at her. She's the moral police out there. No, not at all. Never have been, never will be. Don't care to be. Rianne, there's a lack of accountability that's handed to anybody. Oh my gosh, it's cold. Commander Under Turkey, I gotcha. T, I do too. I feel really refreshed afterwards. Shopaholic, I'm really glad to hear that. Yeah, what are you going to say here? Like, I mean, they can pick apart this, but that's just who they are. That and again, their opinions of me I don't care, y'all. I really don't. Sometimes I do laugh. But 99% of the time I don't even watch it because I don't care, because I know where I'm coming from and who I am standing firm. I stand firm in my beliefs. They don't have to agree with them. You guys don't have to agree with them. We're just talking. Oh, it's so cold. Shark bait, it is very safe. Like, I mean, it's social media, so as far as safety, you know, that always comes with a risk. But as far as people that are amazing, it's great. Holy cow, Welsh, I didn't know that. Wow, I am so glad you're here, and so is he. That's the other thing. I don't ever ask you guys to do anything, but whatever you guys do, send some positive vibes. I have a friend going through quite a lot, and we're hoping this time around there's success. But just pray for positivity for all. That's what we'll do. For good things in the new year. Without giving away her story. Well, actually, I have like 3 of my really close friends going through some pretty crazy stuff. Wow, well, she were young. Yes, Nanya, thank you. Pin in that one. And pray for the assholes even more, like me. Pray for me even more. Just joking. And if you don't pray, that's okay too. I'm not super religious, y'all. You'll learn that about me, but I respect everybody else's choices. Even though I have a really strong stance on cults and things like that, I have it from a personal experience. Therefore, I understand that not everybody is the same. So there's that. Okay. You ready to get into this? Everybody got tissues handy? Those of you that cry like me? And those of you out here in the drama community that make fun of me for crying, fuck off. I don't care. I really don't care. I wear my emotions on my sleeve, and that's okay. I am okay with that. Like, honestly, it's okay if you pick on me for that. I'm just I can't fight it. So, oh, thank you, Pop Not Soda. Thank you. Jennifer, I kind of agree with that too. Yeah, Forgotten Whispers. I kind of feel like that too. Hey, Heather. Aw, you guys are great. Oh, Queen Bella. See, we needed like a virtual hug button too, like so I could hug y'all. Okay, where should we start? Okay, let's talk about this. This is from NAMI. Maintaining mental health during the holiday season and a pandemic. Crying's okay. It's a release. Yes, Nanya, thank you. I should pin that one. In fact, I think I have it in here. Actually, let's go here and then, oh, let me create a new one. All right. Me and my long nails, I hunt and peck on this one because it's an attached. It's attached. If you are someone to talk to, call. Oh, why do I always do that? You guys wouldn't have corrected me either. 988. Trigger warning. A banner. Okay. That better? Yeah, right? Oh, thank you, Bad Apple. Hey, Jessica. Sorry, y'all. I'm trying to read some of these comments. Okay. Let's go through this. So it says holidays can be a joy-filled season, but they can also be stressful and especially challenging for those impacted by mental illness. A NAMI study showed that 64% of people with mental illness report holidays make their conditions worse. I will post the links to these articles also in the description when we are done too, just so you guys can have them, because there's some really good guides in here. For many people, the holiday season is not always the most wonderful time of the year, said NAMI Medical Director Ken Duckworth. For individuals and families coping with mental health challenges, the holiday season can be lonely or a stressful time filled with anxiety and or depression. Anybody feel that? Drop me a 1 in the chat if you feel that the holiday season brings on added stress and anxiety or even depression. I'll put a big old 1 right here. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Amethyst. These all came from Amethyst. She got me all the goods this time. Yeah, okay. Scaramouche. Sending hugs right back to you. Thanks for stopping in. Yeah, okay, so there's a lot. All right. Yes. The holidays are really tough on a lot of people, for sure. Okay, let's continue. If you're living with mental health conditions, stress can also contribute to worsening symptoms. Examples in schizophrenia, it can encourage hallucinations and delusions. In bipolar disorder, it can trigger episodes of both mania and depression. The COVID-19 crisis has made maintaining mental health more challenging for so many. Can I get an amen that the pandemic has absolutely worsened our mental health crisis in this world? It has absolutely made things way worse. Yeah. Yeah, family and friends can be really stressful to be around too, though. A lot. Hey, Paul. Thanks for stopping in. Here are some suggestions for how you can reduce stress and maintain good mental health during the holiday season. Take steps to stay safe. As COVID-19 continues to pose a severe risk to communities, Public Health Department and the Center for Disease Control have released guidelines for holiday gatherings, which we're not going to go into all that because that we're going to skip because they're just talking about being safe during the pandemic. Accept your needs. Be kind to yourself. Put your own mental and physical well-being first. Recognize what triggers are to help you prepare for stressful situations. Recognize what your triggers are to help you prepare for stressful situations. I knew I missed a word. Is shopping for the holiday gifts too stressful for you? Who has a hell of a time shopping for gifts and feels like they're never doing the right thing? Anybody else? That is something I've always fought with. It's always been like either not being able to afford the exact things that they want, and feeling guilty, stuff like that. Or I don't know. There's always just that impeding like failure, I think, with presents and gifts. And also, I always have that thing in the back of my head that it's not about commercial like gifts and stuff. That's not what it's supposed to be about. But yes, it's such an added, like, I don't know why that is something I do stress out about. What is making you feel physically and mentally agitated? Uh, YouTube. That's the truth. Once you know this, you can take steps to advocate or avoid to cope with stress. Write a gratitude list and offer thanks. That's something that a lot of people don't do. Who wakes up in the morning and thinks of things that they're actually grateful for? Does anybody try to start their day out with thinking of things that they're grateful that they have? Hold on, let me see what you said up here. I don't know what happened to them. Michelle, I don't. NGL still acts like they're buddies, but we obviously know that that's not the case. But I don't know exactly what happened. None of them have been truthful. Hey, Navy. Yeah, Queen Bella. There's just a lot of pressure with it. Uh, Melissa. Yeah, that's hard. Yeah, that's grateful I woke up. Yep, there you go. Okay, let me see what else they say. Gratitude has been shown to improve mental health, which is true. Manage your time and don't try to do too much. Who tries to overdo it during the holidays? Everybody. Prioritizing your time and activities can help you use your time well. Making a day-to-day schedule helps ensure you don't feel overwhelmed by everyday tasks and deadlines. It's okay to say no to plans that don't fit in your schedule or make you feel good. All right. This right here, we're going to talk about it. Who has a hard time saying no and overstretches themselves constantly because you don't want to let anybody down? Whether it be your immediate family, your friends, everything. Who always overextends themselves, overdoes it? Paul, yes. Absolutely. Yep. Because I don't say no. I don't say no. Yep. People pleaser. Yeah. Okay. Saying no and having boundaries is so important. Yeah, finding out what's important to you and being okay with that, which it's so hard, I get it. I can't say I have a hard time saying no to. I have that in me too, and I do overextend myself all the time. Like even with this, I feel a dedication and like that I have to provide content and I have to speak the truth and stuff like it. But you guys don't do that to me. I do that to me. So I'm over here like walking into walls, trying to fold laundry and stuff, trying to edit videos because you guys don't expect it out of me, but I expect, and it's what I do with everything. I have a hard time. Like I put more pressure on myself than anybody else does. Yeah. Okay. So a lot of you. I used to, but decided to be a good woman, not a nice woman. So there's a difference. Okay. Yeah, Paul, a lot of us. Yeah. I used to, but learned to say no. Good for you, Peg. I'm proud of you. Rachel, yeah. Good, Anne. I'm good. Glad to hear that. What can you guys say? Those of you that used to have that and have found more ability to say no, what did you change? Can you give us some hints of what worked for you? Or what is it just a fact of getting older, being fed up? I can tell anyone and everyone, "No, I can teach you how practice with me in your head, my." Thank you, Nanya. Right there. Yep, Forgotten Whispers, yep. Miss Lee, I knew you were gonna say that. Yep. Reinforcing your boundaries, yep. Michelle, he absolutely could. I'm not really sure. It seems like that is what's going on. She's been making quite a few digs and stuff there. What time is it here? It is 12:56 here, Paul. Oh, yep. Mocus, yep. That's great. I've always had so much guilt. Yeah. I'm sorry. Carol, I think a lot of us do that. I think a lot of us do that. Yeah, that's good, Jennifer. I learned that the more you do for others, the more they expect. It became too difficult. Ah, yes. So I stopped doing it. Yep. Aging makes it easier, but you have to find your voice, of course, in a tactful way to say no. Yep. I agree there too. This is huge. I just decided to stop worrying about what people thought. I've gotten way better about it in my older age. Being more, I guess, selfish with my time. A lot of us are taught, though, that you can't be selfish. It's all about, others or whatever. And that gets to be a lot. Oh, Mocus, that's so true. I toughened up because there became a point in my life that I did not have a choice. I decided that my own mental health was much more important than allowing the negativity. Very great. That's a very true point. Some people drain you. You have to put yourself first sometimes, yes. The more you do, yes, I agree. See, this is when it gets real over here and people are like, I'm out. Great. That's good. Okay. Be realistic. Even pre-pandemic, the happy lives of people shown in those holiday commercials are fictional. Let's read that again. Be realistic. Even pre-pandemic, the happy lives of people shown in those holiday commercials are fictional. It's kind of like the Instagram lives, the YouTube lives of everybody looks so polished and put together, and people envy that and think, oh, if I just had that, I wouldn't have any problems. That's not reality, y'all. That's not reality. You can paint any picture you want. You can use any colors you want. But that isn't always the reality. Shark bait, yes. Therapy is so important. Yes. The day I realized it was the glasses. The day I realized that the glass was neither half full or half empty. It's both, because realistically, it's both. That's very true. Big cars with the big bows, right? Yeah. Yep. Isn't that crazy too? Thinking about that. The commercials of the 50s and 60s. Yes. Perception can be everything. Yep. We need to look at ourselves in the mirror and give ourselves a pep talk and remind ourselves we are amazing. We need to practice saying no. We have to know the difference of fantasy versus reality. Scientifically, the glass is never empty, just changed what fills it. Navy, that's profound. That's a very true statement. Yes, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Yep. Nanya, I can see you now. Where'd your other one go? What'd you say? They're going pretty fast. I'm over here actually trying to read comments for once. Will you take the hits? Will you defend yourself? Saying no. Part 2. Yes. Nanya's got a whole. Nanya, you're gonna have to just teach a series. Setting boundaries is hard, but know that the more you allow people to violate your boundaries, saying yes, imagine that they are punching you without the physical part. Will you take the hits or will you defend yourself? Saying no. Let's pin that. Setting boundaries is hard, but know that the more you allow people to violate your boundaries, saying yes, imagine that they are punching you without the physical. Will you take the hits or will you defend yourself? Saying no. That's very true. Commander, a lot of people have to do that. Shopaholic, I love that. Is he okay? Did I miss her comment? We teach people how to treat us. Miss Lee, thank you. We allow how people treat us. And sometimes you don't realize it either when you're in the situation. I do what I want. Happy, happy, happy. I'm glad. Yep. Okay, let me go further into this. This is a good conversation. Thank you all for being here that are hanging out and talking about this. If you guys want to segue, like if you want to bring up something else, feel free in the comments. Let's talk about openly. I'm actually trying to, you guys are saying some profound things today and really engaged in this conversation. So thank you. Yeah, hope that's a great analogy. Shopaholic is a great. We have a lot of great people in here. Miss Lee is amazing. Yes, Rebel, what we will allow will continue. That's why, like, we have to learn to even take control and shutting it off, like with Molly, right? So we talk about it being bad, it's disparaging and stuff, but we have to learn to be able to shut it off ourselves too, even with people like that, social media, people in our real lives, of course that's more important, but we have to be able to identify and set boundaries for sure. All right, let's continue. And that the next one is set boundaries. Set boundaries. Family dynamics can be complex. Acknowledge them and accept that you can only control your role. Let's read that again. Acknowledge them and accept that you can only control your role, nobody else's. If you need to, find ways to limit your exposure. See, there's nothing wrong with if it's not healthy and it's not fulfilling you and it's not a good place, don't do it. Practice relaxation. Deep breathing, meditation, progressive muscle relaxation are good ways to calm yourself. Taking a break to refocus can have benefits beyond the immediate moment. You know what would be cool? Well, I can't teach yoga, first of all, but it would be really cool to do like a yoga thing sometime, or a meditation session or like something like that. It's a little hard with the blank screen to do that, but maybe one of these days. Hey, Dot. Welcome in. My therapist, the therapist too. That's amazing. I love that they do that. Ooh, I got this vape thing. Oh, I'm not a vapor. But if I start puking, that's why. Oh, it's cold and I don't smoke anywhere but outside. So, oh, that's terrible. Okay. I'm making horrible noises now. You're welcome. Nanya, I am very comfortable with being the villain of other people's stories because it's their story, not mine. I don't write my own role in their story. That's great. Laughter is part of my therapy. Mine too. Stop going back to the same empty well expecting to get water. Peg, that's true. Goat yoga, me too. Oh, thank you, Dot. Hey, Anne, thanks for coming in. Oh, Rebel, that's what I just thought. I was like, what is that thing? Oh, is it? It might be a menthol. Maybe that's what it is. It's just foul, is what it is. Yep, I get my nails done for self care too. Okay, let's go on. Exercise daily. Schedule time to walk outside, bike, or join a dance class. Whatever you do, make sure it's fun. Daily exercise produces. Let me talk. Let me try to read again. I know I can sometimes, but not always. Daily exercise naturally produces stress relieving hormones in your body and improves your overall physical health. And in the winter, I think everybody's, well, in certain areas, their activity level goes down some because it's cold out, the weather's not as good. That's pretty typical too. Eat well. Come on. Who can say they eat well during the holidays? Anybody? Does anybody stick to like their normal routine, or does everybody kind of fall off diets during the holidays? I'll be frank, I don't diet because I fail. I've never been a dieter. I am terrible about it. I am great at encouraging others, but I will be very frank, I am not good about that kind of stuff whatsoever. So I have never been on a diet at the holidays because I just fail at diets, period. Yeah, a lot of you guys can't vape. I'm like over here still trying not to die from that because that was nasty. Granny, that's so common. Take your vitamins. Yes. How many of you all are like vitamin B12 and D3 deficient? I bet there's quite a few of you. Portion control. Yeah, I think that diets and like into the holiday season though set up a lot of people up for failure. Like the expectation of being able to stick to a diet during the holidays is really hard, and then they feel like their families are judging them. Like there's a whole set of other things that go with it, and I just can't imagine like that's a lot of pressure to put yourself under. You run every day, you walk inside, that's great. Iron, yeah, iron deficiency. Does anybody use one of those inside lamps, for seasonal depression? Does anybody have one of those lamps that they use? That's also another really good trick or technique. Hold my window open, Jennifer. I'm terrible about it too, and I just own it. I'm never good at it. Oh, Marcy, that's great. Yes, seasonal depression, yeah, with the time change, yeah, less daylight hours, yeah, for sure. Okay, let's go on. Getting enough sleep, which we all talk about that all the time. I don't think a lot of people sleep around here. I think a lot of people suffer from insomnia. Symptoms of some mental health conditions like mania and bipolar disorder, I can't talk, can be triggered by getting too little sleep. Yes, very, very much so. Avoid alcohol and drugs. Okay, who drinks more around the holidays? I'm sure, and you don't have to say it in the comments, but I think a lot of people celebrate more during the holidays. So I think that's common too, that people party and hang out. Hey, Rhett's mom. Nunya, that's amazing. I love that you have found that. Hey, frustrated lurker. I could never live in Alaska because of the daylight hours. Oh, AKA Ginny. Good for you. Congrats on the new one. Yeah, I've just never been good at it, y'all, and I've fluctuated weights all over the place. So I'm just being frank. Like, but I know a lot of people hold themselves to all these things and then going into the new year, like setting up resolutions and stuff. And I'm like, that's so much added pressure to do to people's selves. I don't know. I don't drink either. Okay, I found my people. I don't drink at all. Look at all this. This is shocking. And I don't have anything against people that do. I just can't. I used to. All right. Let's go on. Spend time in nature. Studies show that time in nature reduces stress. Need to break away from family during the holiday gathering? Take a walk in a local park. Yep. Volunteering. The act of volunteering can provide a great source of comfort by helping people who are not as fortunate. You can also feel less lonely or isolated and more connected to your community. You can find out if there is a safe way to volunteer in your community. How many people volunteer at like the shelters or the soup kitchens or things like that during the holidays? Does anybody else? That is so fulfilling and rewarding. Like, that's the best feeling in the world to me. Rachel, I'm sending you huge hugs, and also I'm so proud of you. That's incredible. You're doing a great job. I love how kind you guys are to each other in the comments. Like, really, you guys are so good to each other. It's actually fun to sit and watch how much, like, if I just sat here, you guys would find, and I didn't talk, you guys would still find stuff to talk about in the comments because I don't know why I'm so lucky, but there's like genuinely good people here. Yes, Navy Habitat for Humanity is great. Yes, Amethyst. Yep. Aw, sending you huge hugs, Rachel. Nanya is on it today. Nanya is like the voice of reason today. She is coming in hot with her support and love on everybody. Nanya, you're so special. I swear. You just have a way at times with words that I just am blown away by. A lot of you do, though. A lot of you guys say some of the most amazing things, and I'm like, that was really profound. Yes. Yeah, there's some great people here. Great people. Oh, T, yeah, there's a very warm environment over here for the most part. You know, it gets a little messy at times, but oh, and P, that's great. Jennifer, that's wonderful. Yeah, sunny days, that's for sure. There's a lot of people vibing on the same. Oh, solo, I agree. I'm a thug. None of the mob boss coming in with, well, uh, uh, Rhett's mom, do you mind if you don't want to share any further? That's okay. And you know what? I'm okay with that. A lot of people, it's so much pressure, and some people just, it's not their thing, and that's totally okay too. Oh, thank you. Yeah, Rayanne, it's a great chat. That is for sure. Yeah. Forgotten, I will say that too. Like, I mean, there's a few other places that I feel good going. But the people that hang out over here just, yeah, they're just great people. Hey, Beth, welcome. All right, let me continue to watch or to read. Okay. Ooh. There's more there. Hold on. I wanted to go to this one. You're not alone. This is the one I wanted to do. Whether you have struggled with suicide yourself or have lost a loved one, know you are not alone. Hear about personal experiences from people in your local community whose lives have been impacted by suicide. You guys feel like talking about some of these? Do we want to talk about the data around it? Which way do we want to go with this? Losing multiple family members to suicide, 8 concepts that have helped me heal. Over the years, I have come to understand certain things that have been helpful in my own personal journey of healing. I share them in hopes of helping others who have lost someone they care about to this leading cause of death. Okay, trigger warning, y'all. We're gonna read this. Oh, did you just pick? Was that date you just decided that you were no longer celebrating, or was it due to an event? And you don't have to elaborate. I was just wondering if it was like you just chose not to, or which was okay. I shouldn't even have asked that. Brad's mom. Don't worry. Yeah. Did you have, was there something traumatic that happened is basically what I was wondering, or did you just choose not to celebrate anymore? I'm down for whatever you don't. Nobody, holidays are so commercialized anymore. It's not even fun. Jennifer, what am I asking? Not your process. Some of you guys get me going. Oh, love Shack, Sarah. I'm sending you hugs. Whew, that's hard. Okay, let's get into this, okay? This is a article by Heidi Bodgers. Amid rising suicide rates among young adults, the campaign from AFSP, the JED Foundation, and the Ad Council provides resources to start conversations around mental health with an emphasis on reaching Black and Hispanic Latino youth. Let's go back to this one, actually. Hold on. Okay, here's the story. Ooh, this is going to be a heavy one. International Survivors of Suicide Loss Day, also known as Survivor Day, takes place each year on the Saturday before American Thanksgiving, which is coming up. Wait, is that this Saturday? Would that be this Saturday, y'all? The Saturday before American Thanksgiving. Yeah, it would be. I didn't even know that. With virtual and in-person events in communities everywhere. This year, 2022, International Survivors of Suicide Loss Day takes place on November 19th. 2 weeks, a week from now. Yep, a week from now. I'm a week ahead of myself. The 19th. I am a survivor of suicide loss. This term means I have lost a loved one to suicide. More specifically and heartbreakingly, I have lost 4 family members to suicide. This happened over the course of 5 years. An uncle in March 2015, a cousin's son in February 2016, a cousin, the son of my uncle who died in October of 2018, and finally my brother in November of 2018. The impact on my family was devastating each time. It has changed the way we spend time together and how we support each other. We are left to wonder, will there be another phone call to share sad news? Ultimately, some things that helped us included being willing to talk openly with one another about our own mental health and our lost loved ones. Something it's difficult for some families to do after a suicide loss, and to check in on each other often, even over long distances. Okay, I'm trying to get through this. This is going to be, yeah, not this Saturday, next Saturday, the 19th. Whew. My husband and I found it so encouraging to be with other people that have been affected by suicide. Since that time, we have both become active in planning and leading these events through our local AFSP chapter. Has anybody heard of the AFSP chapter? Again, I'll provide these links. The multiple losses of my family experience have given me a purpose and a drive to help others. I am proud to say that I am currently the event manager for the local International Survivors of Suicide Loss Day event here in Central Iowa. The writer of this is in Iowa. Over the years, I have come to understand certain things that have been helpful in my own personal journey of healing. I share them in hopes of helping others who have lost someone they care about to this leading cause of death. I love how she keeps pointing it out that it is a leading cause of death. Smiles, I'm so sorry. So sorry. Okay, let's continue to go. Sorry, y'all. I have to take breaks for this. It's a lot to read. It's just heavy. It's natural to feel many emotions, including guilt, but no suicide death is another person's fault. Can we read that again? It's natural to feel many emotions, including guilt, but no suicide death is another person's fault. When I lost my brother, I asked myself, how did I let this happen again? I had seen the warning signs and knew the risk factors. He battled with his mental health for many years and had attempted to end his life previously. We thought he had been doing better, but since we didn't ask, he didn't share. When we did notice he was struggling again, we all reached out, but in the end, we couldn't keep him with us. I felt like I let my brother down, and I wondered if there was something else I could have or should have done. This is a common feeling with suicide loss, and I have come to realize I am not to blame or responsible. Let's read that again. And I want you all that have been here, are in these shoes, to hear this. It's natural to feel many emotions, including guilt, but no suicide death is another person's fault. Where there is great love, there will be great pain. Love and grief are big emotions, both big emotions. Grief is the love left to give the person you've lost after they're gone. The love doesn't stop because they are no longer here. I was angry with my brother for some time for leaving me. Another common emotion with suicide loss. I came to understand that his death was a result of his being in pain and not seeing another way out, and that I can still love him even though through my own pain. There goes the ball baby over here. Pain from loss is inevitable, but suffering is not. Pain from loss is inevitable, but suffering is not. It is because of the great love we have for the people we've lost that the pain is so great. But you do not deserve to suffer because of it. Instead, try to focus on continuing that love in honor of them. I still have times when a wave of grief will wash over me. The pain and the loss feels so fresh. But I now know it will pass and that I can look forward to the next moment. It's helpful to focus on the time you spent together. I am grateful for the time I spent with my brother and other family members we lost. I had 33 years with my little brother and many great memories that I hold dear. I'd love to share those wonderful memories with anyone who is willing to listen. He was so smart, had a great personality, and left behind 3 beautiful children who I still get to spend time with. Our grief must be witnessed, not fixed. Suicide loss survivors are not looking for someone to wave a magic wand and make their pain go away. What helps is when others simply acknowledge our loss and share in our feelings. The most helpful thing another person can do is listen and be present on our journey through the unknown. No feeling or emotion is final. Emotions are ever changing and each grief journey is different. That is okay. Healing from suicide loss is not a straight line with simple steps to follow and complete. Even those who have lost the same loved one, other family members, for instance, may not be on the same exact journey or schedule. Our individual relationships are different, and so our journeys are our journeys through grief. Ooh, this is a lot. Okay. Everybody okay? Everybody doing okay with this so far? I'm sorry, y'all. These are all touching, but there's a hope in the darkness. There is hope in the darkness. Even in the midst of great loss, there is always hope. It is important to make connections with other people and to look to what's next. I have met some amazing people along the journey at Survivor Day events, at AFSP's Out of the Darkness walks, through my AFSP chapter and elsewhere, and I learned things about myself I never knew. I realized I could get through this experience with support and love from those around me. Here's a huge one. It's okay to not be okay. You're okay, Sarah. I'm sorry if this is a lot. Yeah, Nanya, please pass them out. It's okay to not be okay. Mental health and emotions are part of everyone's life. I have a strong conviction now to reach out and help anyone I can who struggles with mental health or who has lost a loved one. I have found it helpful in my own process of recovery to get involved, volunteer, and help others. My hope is that you are able to find love through the pain of loss. I encourage you to get connected and involved. Reach out to your local AFSP chapter and attend events such as an Out of the Darkness walk or a Survivor Day event. Find others who are on a similar journey and connect with them. Share your story, speak up, and elevate people's understanding of mental health and suicide prevention. Mostly, be kind to yourself and show love to others. She totally hit that right on. Again, that was from Heidi Bodgers, and I'll share that link. She just wrote that on October 25th, 2022. Think of all that stuff she said, though. Like, what she said there was so important. It's okay to not be okay. Yeah, like, that's one of the most she said so many things right there that are just super important to hear. But I think a lot of that, it's natural to feel many emotions, including guilt, but no suicide death is another person's fault. Where there is great love, there will be great pain. Pain from loss is inevitable, but suffering is not. Those are some big statements that are so true. Oh, S Smiles. There's a group on Facebook called SOS Survivors of Suicide, and it helps me a lot. Sometimes I have to take a break from it, but I always go back. That's amazing. Yeah. There's support groups out there. I'm sure there's some good ones. We've talked about trying to figure out a way of doing a group some way, shape, or form that's like a safer group type thing in a more closed environment. I've actually thought about doing Patreon if I could do it for free, so I could just let people join for free. I need to figure that out if there's a way of like me being able to do it so we can control who's in there. Yes, Rhett's mom. Please do. Please. Yes. Anything. Please feel free. Share. Share, share, share. Oh, yes, Mokus. I love that. I'm not trying to be too religious, but this too shall pass is a good thing to remember, even if you are not religious. Yes. Yes. Rebel. Caffeine is needed. I agree sometimes. Aw, Rayanne sending hugs. Oh, Carol. Yes. So glad he opened up to you. Yeah, I'm so glad. And that's the thing too, is like there's so many layers to this, y'all. Like we can talk about one little piece that opens up so many other things. Like, and I sit here and read the comments, and I haven't seen one person that can say that they're not affected by mental illness or by something like this. There's a lot of them that will make fun of this and mock this or whatever, which is totally fine. But they're the ones that are obviously struggling with some stuff too. It's important to talk about this stuff because it is like a layer and everybody's at a different level. And you just don't know what the person next to you is going through. You have no clue. Yeah, Elle, I was thinking about that, but I don't want it because there's a lot of people that can't afford to join. So if there was a way of making it like 10 cents or something like that, and having like a platform that it avoids, like we can have control. I thought about a Facebook group, but Facebook groups are a mess. But something that's more secure that we can talk, that everybody has as much ability to chat in it as with as control as I would. I need to figure out a way that we can do that because I think it would be important to provide a place for people to connect in a safer spot than out here with everything we say being clipped by ridiculous people, which is fine. I don't care. They can clip me all they want. Yeah, Carol, I'm so glad that he spoke up. And we are here for you. It's SOS Survivors of Suicide. Oh, happy, happy, happy. I think I've heard about some of his story. Yes. Yep. That shows great strength. Okay. Let's go on. Sorry, y'all. These are heavy topics. I know. But, all right. This says we can all prevent suicide. Understanding the issues concerning suicide and mental health is a very important way to take part in suicide for prevention, help others in crisis, and change the conversation around suicide. Suicide is not inevitable for anyone. By starting the conversation, providing support, and directing help to those in need, we can prevent suicides and save lives. Evidence shows that providing support services, talking about suicide, reducing access to means of self-harm, and following up with loved ones are just some of the actions we can take to help others. By offering immediate counseling to everyone that may need it, local crisis centers provide invaluable support at critical times and connect individuals with local services. Again, if you are struggling, this is part of the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, their mission. If you need somebody to talk to, please call 988. Know the risk factors. Risk factors are characteristics that make it more likely that someone will consider, attempt, or die by suicide. They can't cause or predict a suicide attempt, but they're important to be aware of. Oh, Jennifer, I'm sorry. Thank you, Nanya. Got it. Yeah, thank you. All right, I'm going to read this list. Mental disorders, particularly mood disorders, schizophrenia, anxiety disorders, and certain personality disorders. Alcohol and other substance use disorders, hopelessness, impulsive or aggressive tendencies, history of trauma or abuse, major physical illness. That happens a lot with major physical illness. Previous suicide attempts, family history of suicide, job or financial loss. Loss of relationships, easy access to lethal means, local clusters of suicides, lack of social support and sense of isolation, stigma associated with asking for help, lack of healthcare, especially mental health and substance abuse treatment. This is a big one. Cultural and religious beliefs, such as the belief that suicide is a noble resolution of a personal dilemma. Exposure to others who have died by suicide in real life or via the media or internet. Know the warning signs. Some warning signs may help you determine if a loved one is at risk of suicide, especially if the behavior is new, has increased, or seems related to a painful event, loss, or change. If you or someone you know exhibits any of these, seek help by calling the lifeline. Talking about wanting to die or to kill themselves, looking for a way to kill themselves, like searching online or buying a gun. Talking about feeling hopeless or having no reason to live. Talking about feeling trapped or in unbearable pain. Talking about being a burden to others. That's a big one. Increasing the use of alcohol or drugs. Acting anxious or agitated, behaving recklessly. Sleeping too little or too much, withdrawing or isolating themselves. Isolation is big time. Showing rage or talking about seeking revenge. Extreme mood swings. Those are just some of the warning signs and some of the risk factors. Oh, that was a lot to read. Yeah, you guys are all great. You guys are amazing at what you do and helping each other. There's a lot of those that we talk about a lot, like the risk factors and, the stuff with the pandemic as far as like job loss and stuff really amped up um, the risk factors, I think, for a lot of people. Thanks for being here, Navy. I'm glad you're here. Knowing the warning signs, yeah, and they differ so much from person to person too. All right, let's go over here. I'm not getting through all of them because there's a lot. I'm kind of skipping around through some of them. But I'm going to give a few more details. And Brett's mom, I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad you feel good talking about this. Gator Girl for life, I'm glad. Yeah, long COVID really caused a lot of depression for people. I've heard that a lot recently too. All right, we're going to finish out with this. I'm not going to keep this one long because I want people to actually, well, the ones that care to watch, to not have to sit here for hours. Yeah, the damn lockdown. The isolation that people felt through COVID has just been kind of a long-lasting thing, and there's some people that felt it before. Okay, here we go. Understanding suicide. The World Health Organization estimates that approximately 1 million people, think about that. The WHO estimates that approximately 1 million people die each year from suicide. What drives so many individuals to take their own lives? To those who are not in the grips of suicidal depression and despair, it's difficult to understand what drives so many individuals to take their own lives. But a suicidal person is in so much pain that they can see no other option. That is so true. 1 million people, y'all, worldwide. 1 million people are taking their own lives. Think about that. That number is staggering. Suicide is a desperate attempt to escape suffering that has become unbearable. Blinded by feelings of self-loathing, hopelessness, and isolation, a suicidal person can't see any way of finding relief except through death. But despite their desire for the pain to stop, most suicidal people are deeply conflicted about ending their own lives. They wish there was an alternative to suicide, but they just can't see one. Common misconceptions about suicide. People who talk about suicide won't really do it. Fact. Almost everyone who attempts suicide has given some clue or warning. Don't ignore even indirect references to death or suicide. Statements like, "You'll be sorry when I'm gone. I can't see any way out," no matter how casually or jokingly said, may indicate serious suicidal feelings. Another myth. Anyone who tries to kill themselves must be crazy. The fact is, most suicidal people are not psychotic or insane. They are upset, grief-stricken, depressed, or despairing, but have extreme distress and emotional pain are not necessarily signs of mental illness. Ooh. Sorry, y'all. Ooh. These myth and facts are getting me because this is something that absolutely. Oh, Nunya, sending you hugs. I'm going to read through a few more of these and then we'll end it because this is heavy and I don't want to put everybody in a horrible spot for the rest of the day. But please know that reach out if you need somebody, if you need to talk. There's a lot of us that are here. I'll come back in a little bit and maybe we'll do something lighthearted and uplifting. Oh, Norma, welcome. Okay, let me read the rest of these. Actually, hold on. Let me check and make sure that she got up to go get the girls. Oh, she did. She's such a good one. We take turns on picking them up, so I can do this. Thank you, Forgotten Whispers. Okay, let's get through the rest of these, y'all. If someone is determined to kill themselves, nothing is going to stop them. That's a myth. Okay. The myth is if someone is determined to kill themselves, nothing is going to stop them. Fact. Even a very severely depressed person has mixed feelings about death, fluctuating between wanting to live and wanting to die. Rather than wanting death, they just want the pain to stop, and the impulse to end their life does not last forever. Carol, yeah, that's been a generational thing for sure. And that's why we got to use our ability to change that. Myth. People who die by suicide are people who are unwilling to seek help. This pisses me off. That myth, because I hear it all the time. Fact. Many people try to get help before attempting suicide. In fact, studies indicate that more than 50% of suicide victims had sought medical help in the last 6 months prior to their deaths. Myth. Talking about suicide may give someone the idea. The fact. You don't give someone suicidal ideas by talking about suicide. Rather, the opposite is true. Talking openly and honestly about suicidal thoughts and feelings can help save a life. Let's read that again. A myth. Talking about suicide may give somebody the idea. The fact is, you don't give someone suicidal ideas by talking about suicide. Rather, the opposite is true. Talking openly and honestly about suicidal thoughts and feelings can help save a life. Warning signs of suicide. Take any suicidal talk or behavior seriously. It's not just a warning sign that the person is thinking about suicide. It's a cry for help. Okay. Suicide warnings include talking about suicide, seeking out lethal means, preoccupation with death, no hope for the future, self-loathing, self-hatred, getting affairs in order, saying goodbye, withdrawing from others, self-destructive behavior, sudden sense of calm. Suicide prevention tip number 1. Speak up if you're worried. Ways to start a conversation about suicide. I have been feeling concerned about you lately. Recently, I've noticed some differences in you and wondered how you're doing. I wanted to check in with you because you haven't seemed yourself lately. Questions you can ask. When did you begin feeling like this? Did something happen to make you start feeling like this or feeling this way? How can I best support you right now? Right there. How can I best support you right now? Have you thought about getting help? What can you say that helps? You are not alone in this. I am here for you. These are important. These are the things that you can say that potentially might help. You are not alone in this. I'm here for you. You may not believe it now, but the way you're feeling will change. I may not be able to understand exactly how you feel, but I care about you and want to help. When you want to give up, tell yourself Tell yourself you will hold off for just one more day, hour, minute, whatever you can manage. I think that was the hardest one. Oh, there they come. I don't even know why they're barking. Hold on. I don't know who they're barking at. Hold on. Amazon. What are they doing interrupting? Okay. Oh, it's okay, Amethyst. I just feel bad because I know it's a hard subject for a lot of people. It's hard to read this stuff. Okay, let me finish here. Maybe we'll stop there for today because this is a lot. I'm going to read this one though. When talking to a suicidal person, this is the do's. Be yourself. Let the person know that you care, that they are not alone. Finding the right words are not nearly as important as showing your concern. Listen, let your friend or your loved one vent and unload their feelings. No matter how negative the conversation seems, the fact that it's taking place is a positive sign. Be sympathetic and non-judgmental. The suicidal person is doing the right thing by talking about their feelings, no matter how difficult it may be to hear. Offer hope. Reassure your loved one that help is available and that the suicidal feelings are temporary. Let the person know that their life is important to you. Take the person seriously. If a suicidal person says things like, I'm so depressed I can't go on, ask if they're having thoughts of suicide. You're allowing them to share their pain with you, not putting ideas in their head. But don't argue with the suicidal person. Avoid saying things like, you have so much to live for. Your suicide will hurt your family, or just snap out of it. Don't act shocked, lecture on the value of life, or argue that suicide is wrong. Don't promise confidentiality or be sworn to secrecy. A life is at stake, and you may need to speak to a mental health professional in order to keep the suicidal person safe. If you promise to keep your discussion secret, you may have to break your word. Offer ways to fix your loved one's problems. Don't do that. Give advice or make them feel like they have to justify their suicidal feelings. It is not about how bad the problem is, but how badly it's hurting your friend or loved one. Do not blame yourself. You can't fix someone else's depression. Your friend or loved one's happiness or lack thereof is not your responsibility. Yeah, this is important too. Tip number 2, respond quickly in a crisis. If a family or her friend or family member tells you that they're thinking about death or suicide, it's important to evaluate the immediate danger the person is in. Those at the highest risk for committing suicide in the near future have a specific plan, that the means to carry out the plan, a time set for doing it, and intention to do it. The following questions can help you assess the immediate risk for suicide. Do you have a suicide plan? Do you have what you need to carry out your plan? Pills, guns, etc. Means, which is what that is, the means to do it. Do you know when you would do it? Time set. Do you intend to take your own life? Intention. So this goes from when it's a thought, a talk about, to planning, to creating a plan. There's a difference, and that's what they're talking about. Level of suicide risk, and they go through. I'm going to print these, or not print them. I'm going to copy it, put this up. Tip 3 is offer help and support. If a friend or family member is suicidal, the best way to help is by offering an empathetic listening ear. Let your loved one know that they're not alone and that you care. Don't take responsibility, however, for healing your loved one. You can offer support, but you can't make a suicidal person get better. They have to make a personal commitment to recovery. It takes a lot of courage to help someone who is suicidal. Witnessing a loved one dealing with thoughts about ending their own life can stir up many difficult emotions. As you're helping a suicidal person, don't forget to take care of yourself. Find someone that you trust, a friend, a family member, pastor, or a counselor to talk to about your feelings and get support of your own. To help a suicidal person get professional help, follow up on treatment, be proactive, encourage positive lifestyle changes, make a safety plan. That is huge. I cannot express that enough. If somebody is expressing that, please sit down with them and ask them what they would like to put in a safety plan, but they have to be a part of this plan. They have to be an active member of the plan. You don't do it behind their backs. You don't do it shady. These are open conversations that need to be had, and they need to be a part of that. So that is something, making a safety plan is huge. I can't suggest that enough. Knowing who your local resources are, who crisis response is, who can respond if you have pediatrics, knowing if you have a pediatric inpatient hospital close by, who's on call, who can come out for crisis response, making sure you have those connections available if need be. That is huge. We could actually go over how to develop a safety plan. That's something that I would gladly do. We could do that online. Sorry, y'all. I didn't realize how much this was like. Your guys' comments are hard for me to read. Oh, Lorraine, I'm so sorry. Sunny days, I'm sorry. Yes, the person's got to be a part of the plan. They've got to be a part of their plan. Navy, I love that. In the Navy, we use the acronym ACT. It's Ask, Care, Treat. Yep. Love that. Absolutely love that. One of my other half's best friends is a medic in the Army, and they do a lot with mental health and stuff. I think he's done multiple tours, but I love that. In our military, that's a whole. I would love to have somebody up here someday and talk about 22 a day. All right, y'all. I think this has been heavy enough. We've been here almost 2 hours. I know this has probably opened up some wounds for some people. I'm sorry if this was heavy for a lot of you. I hope you all know that you're valued, you're loved, you're worthy, you're not alone. You're never alone. I know it may feel like that, but we're all here. It takes a village, y'all, and we got to start putting away the shame and the connotation that these things can't be talked about and that they can't be discussed and we can't openly talk about them, because if we're going to change something, we've got to start making a change, and it's got to start somewhere. I know there's a lot of people out here that talk about this, and then there's a lot of people that are out here that mock this, and that's totally fine. But they need to stay away. Yes, community is essential. Thank you, Rebel. Aw, thank you guys. Thank you guys for hitting the thumbs up too. I appreciate that. I always have a hard time with that. Yes, thank you guys all. I know that this is like really raw, and I'm expecting a lot of you guys. I can't thank you enough for, again, being so open and vulnerable. And I honestly am shocked every time we talk about this, because the amount of willingness to participate and the desire to talk about it and talk about personal stories. I think one of these days, we're going to do an open panel and let people come up. And if you want to talk, you don't have to show your face and stuff like that. Of course, I don't show mine. But maybe, because there's a lot of things that other people can connect to with each other's stories. And I just want to be a platform for people to, I don't know what we're doing, but we're just doing it. Okay. Thank you all for being here. Yes, Jennifer, I agree. It has to change. Navy, yes. Ask the questions. If you think somebody is, ask them. Don't pussyfoot around the question. Be straightforward. They need that. They want that. Peg, yes, it takes everyone to make this a better world. And we've got to quit praising these people who continue to disparage others because of their mental health or addiction. Or why are we giving these people a platform to continue their hate? Why are we thinking that this is what we want to do? I get so sick and tired of watching people like that be the ones that everybody's like, yeah, I mean, and I don't want that. Ugh. These people could do so much, and they're not. But that's that. So what we are in control of, what we are in control of, and that is the nonsense channel. And the nonsense is going to continue to call out nonsense and talk about the important things in life. Thank you, Mochas, for being here. Yes. And don't ever be ashamed if you need to get medication. Don't ever be ashamed if you need to get medication, if you need to go to therapy, if you need to tell somebody that you need a break. Advocating for yourself is huge. And that means whatever it is you feel that you need in the time. You might not even be in the right time with what your needs are, but if that's what you feel, that's valid. Don't let anybody else tell you your feelings are not valid. Oh, Forgotten Whispers. As soon as I'm done, I got to share your blog. Y'all, I'm going to share her blog on the community tab. Please read it. It's amazing. She's done 2. You've done 2 now, haven't you? You have more. You probably have more than 2. Oh, let's end it with this. So I'll probably come back in a little while and we'll do something fun, or just like bullshit about something. Maybe, I don't know. I have some content to do too, but I want to leave it with this thought. I need y'all to report back tomorrow with what you're doing for self-care this week. Coming into the holidays, it's really important to take time out for yourself. So please remember to take some time for yourself, whatever that means, whether it's 10 minutes walking outside, whether it's crying yourself to sleep, whatever you need, a nap, whatever it is. I just want to know what you guys are doing to take care of yourselves too. And there's the cat acting crazy. All right. With that said, I am going to head out on this one. Thank you all for being here again. Hugs to everybody. I know this was a heavy topic, and I know this is really bothering a lot of people. So again, thank you all for being here. Thank you all for being vulnerable and being engaged in this conversation. It's very important, and we need to continue to have these conversations. With that, Contessa, over and out. Also, I'm going to end it with, if you do need somebody to talk to, please don't forget calling 988. is available.